You're listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour. If you miss any of the program, you can find the podcast at the bottom of the page at sunnyradio.com.
Give yourself a little credit.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, and it can also be expensive. Are you still paying for last year's Christmas gifts? Maybe you need better credit cards. We'd love to help at bettercreditcards.com. Find a card that's a better fit for your needs. Some like cards with points or miles. Others just want a lower rate. Find what you're looking for at bettercreditcards.com.
Go ahead and switch to bettercreditcards.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit with a very funny comedian, Sofia Javed, and she is going to be in Sioux Falls for the Snow Jam Comedy Festival. First of all, Sofia, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you? I had COVID last week, but I'm all better now. So.
But you're all better now?
Yeah.
Well, better is good. And we're excited to have you come and join us in Sioux Falls for Snow Jam Comedy Festival. Have you ever been to Sioux Falls before?
I have not been to Sioux Falls before. It will be my first time.
And where are you from? Which part of the world do you live in?
I'm not far. I'm in Chicago.
Okay, so you're used to weather no matter what we have that time of year.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Here's the thing that's weird. This year has been kind of bizarre where we haven't had the same kind of weather we usually have. But we had one year where Snow Jam was like 52 degrees, and people are here like, so what's the scoop with this? I thought it was supposed to be snowing. So who knows what we'll have when Snow Jam gets here, but we're excited to have you come and join us. Now, let's talk about your style of comedy. How long have you been doing this, and like what type of comedy do you do?
I've been at it 6 years, going on about to start my 7th year. What type of comedy? Oh, I don't know what the options are to answer that question.
Is there somebody that you get compared to, or people go, oh, hey, you're just like so-and-so?
Not that I've heard yet.
So then people will someday be saying that somebody else is just like Sofia. Yeah, they're like, oh, you're like this lady.
That's the goal, I guess.
There you go.
That would be awesome. I've been doing it 6 years. It's been a lot of fun. I started in Washington, D.C. I am from Chicago, but I was living in D.C. for a while and started comedy there, which is a weird thing to be from Chicago and start comedy somewhere else because a big comedy town here, but I've moved back. Last year, and it's been a lot of fun.
How long were you in D.C.?
Oh boy, on and off for about a dozen years.
And then you got out on good behavior?
I got myself out. Yeah, I got myself out. I was ready for a change, and so I came back home. To be closer to family and stuff like that. And of course, Chicago is a great town for comedy as well.
Absolutely. So do you do like political comedy, or what kind of stuff are you kind of known for?
That's the funny thing is you would think that about comedians in DC, but a lot of people who start comedy in DC, a lot of comedians in DC, we didn't really touch politics in our materials, mostly like outsiders or traveling headliners who'd come through and do the political jokes as their NDC. And I think the reason for that is a lot of us, it was just too close. And people, when you get started out in comedy, you still have your day jobs, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the comedians in DC, their day jobs are in the government or in that political space. So I think it was like, when you get into your nightlife and you get on stage, it's like you don't want to talk about that stuff. But certainly it informs sort of like how you write. I remember when I started, a lot of my jokes were about just kind of bureaucratic office job jokes. Cubicle bureaucrat jokes is what I call them.
I'll bet people there could certainly relate to that for sure.
Oh, yeah, they loved it. They loved it there. And then when you start traveling and doing comedy in other cities, you're like, I got to write something else.
Well, we're excited to see you when you get to Sioux Falls. Snow Jam Comedy Festival, January 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st. There's a ton of different shows that are going to be happening during those 4 days. If you would like to get tickets, snowjamcomedyfest.com is the website. And again, I'm excited to see you when you're here. And again, I appreciate you taking the time to chat.
Thanks for chatting. I'm excited to be there. I'm looking forward to it.
And again, it's going to be here before you know it. Snow Jam Comedy Festival. I'll throw a link to make it really easy to find as well on the Facebook page for Sioux Falls Comedy. Again, snowjamcomedyfest.com.
Do you cringe when you get your mobile phone bill? Mint Mobile can help. Just $15 a month for premium wireless. Give your family a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone to Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That is far less than most people are paying. Just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Excited to visit right now with Tom Henderson. We're going to talk about the ResGen Men's Summit. It's coming up on February the 3rd. Holy cow. It sounds like it's a long ways away, Tom, but that's going to be here before you know it.
Well, listen, what do they say? They say that the days are long and the years are short, right? And sometimes it just feels like that, but all of a sudden you look back and you're like, how did we arrive here so quickly?
Yeah.
But yes, we're gearing up again for what we think is going to be our biggest men's summit of the year. Well, actually, ever. I mean, let's be real, ever, because we had over 1,100 men last year and 12 simulcast sites, and this year we'll easily top the 1,100, and I think we're up to about 20 simulcast sites. So we're very excited about seeing how it's grown.
It is so cool. And for folks that have never been to this, I've been to, I think, all of them, if not all, just about all of them. And this is something you definitely want to see. It's an amazing event, and it is so much fun. And when you walk out of there, you're going to feel like you got $10 million worth of stuff because you've got so many great speakers each and every year. And I always think, man, I'd hate to be in your shoes, Tom. How do you top this next year? And I'm looking at the list right now, and you did it again, man.
Yeah, that is a question I get really almost within minutes after the event ends. People are like, how are you going to top this next year? That exact same question, John. But you know what? Each year stands alone, and we just fully believe that it's who God wants to bring for that year. And this year's theme, John, is all about being a man of courage. And it's going to go from 8 a.m. to 1:30. And as you mentioned, we've got 5 dynamic speakers and then a comedian this year. And, we've got David Pollack, college football analyst, was on a college sports analyst from ESPN College Game Day for 12 years. Ryan Leake, who's an executive coach and author, unbelievable communicator. I'm just telling you, he's unbelievable. He's easily worth coming out the day of for. Jeff Strucker, who was actually portrayed in the movie Black Hawk Down. Yeah. Was a Black Hawk helicopter pilot and an Army Ranger. He's going to be sharing. Chris Brown, who is an unbelievable communicator and storyteller, pastor from San Diego. Sean Reynolds, a very gifted comedian, is going to provide some moments of levity and sustained laughter for guys. I like to call it mental recess, if you will, as we just get to laugh together. And then I'll be sharing a message as well.
It's always a really fun time. I have met so many wonderful people there as well. There's some people that I consider good friends now that I met them sitting at ResGen Men's Summit, and we start chatting, and they go to a different church than I go to. So, and they work somewhere different than I work, and they live in a different part of town than I live in, but we're all together in this room, and we get the chance to meet people, and you learn stuff, and then even during the breaks, it's positive because you're meeting new people. So it's just such a fun day. Thank you for putting your heart into this.
Yeah, well, that's one of the joys of it, to be honest with you, John, is connecting dudes with other dudes, because so many times we just get so focused on our schedules and our calendars, right? And we just we move at a fast pace, like almost at the speed of light. And when we can kind of slow down, even just for that portion, 5.5 hours, and connect with other guys, it's a shared experience. And this year we're going to even make a more purposed attempt of trying to get guys to say, hey, we want you to connect with each other and not just say, hey, we're going to get together after this, but actually make a plan. And give them a resource to say, look, you're going to, so that you can gather together and debrief and talk about all the great content, because we want the content to live on. Otherwise, if we just come to the event and hang out, it's good. But man, let's go and now let's put some stuff into action, because that's how change really happens in our life, in our families, and in the community.
I agree. I love it. If somebody listening is going, hey, you got my attention, I'm kind of interested in this ResGen Men's Summit thing. It is Saturday, February 3rd, 8 a.m. till 1 p.m. How do I get a ticket to join you and be a part of it that day?
Yeah, super simple. Resgen.org. That's RESGEN.org. You just click on the Men's Summit, and then you can pick whether you want to join us in person or via live stream. It's only $35 to come. I mean, we're just giving the thing away because we don't want finances to ever keep anybody from coming. But that being said, if $35 is something that's too tall for you right now, just with everything going on in the world, and that, man, please email me through the website, and we'll make sure that money is not the reason you don't get to join us.
I love that. Restoration Generation is what ResGen stands for, and this is an amazing organization based here in Sioux Falls. How long have you been around, Tom? It's a bit now, isn't it?
Yeah, we started it back in April of 2010, and the first several years was all focused on teenagers. In fact, 20 years of my life was spent investing in teenagers all over the country. But then we just saw what God was doing through specifically the Men's Summit, which is then launched into so many other things that we do year round, specifically for men, for marriages, for parenting, now in the corporate space. So it's been really fun to just see how it's morphed over the last 13 years. The mission has stayed the same, but the different vehicles and the methods have changed as time has gone by. But we're really excited about where we're at right now.
It's wonderful, and I'm excited to see you on February 3rd. Thank you so much for all that you're doing, sir.
All right, my friend. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Tom Henderson, and he is with Restoration Generation, the ResGen Men's Summit 2024, February 3rd, 8 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. All of the details at resgen.org.
Give yourself a little credit.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, but it can also be expensive. Are you still paying for last year's Christmas gifts? Maybe you need better credit cards. We'd love to help at bettercreditcards.com. Find a card that's a better fit for your needs. Some like cards with points or miles. Others just want a lower rate. Find what you're looking for at bettercreditcards.com.
Go ahead and switch to bettercreditcards.com.
Time now for This Day in Sioux Falls History, brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3. It was on this day, December 28, 1954, in just a few hours, a piece of Sioux Falls history was all but lost. A downtown fire destroyed the top floors and the entire interior of 132 South Phillips Avenue. The building that once housed the Olympia, Royal, and the Time theaters caught on fire on the evening hours after close, causing an estimated $190,000 in damages. And that was in 1954. 7 young women who rented apartments upstairs were able to escape without harm, although they were only able to make it out of the blaze with the clothes on their backs. All of their possessions went up in the flames. Nolt's Millinery, a ladies' hat store which operated out of a street-level storefront, lost all of their inventory to the fire as well. Mr. and Mrs. Nolt had only just locked the store and drove one of their employees home. They had just arrived to their own home when neighbors alerted them to the fire at their store. Mrs. Nolt declared that she would build again, but no other businesses under the name of Nolt's Millinery show up in city records beyond that fire, as far as we've been able to find. Today, this building is the newly constructed Lewis Drug downtown. It has been occupied by 2 different women's clothing stores and as a storage space for Lewis Drug in the interim. The building was damaged in the terrible tragedy December 2nd, 2016, when the Copper Lounge, just one building south, collapsed. Lewis Drug was able to construct a beautiful new store on the footprint of the 2 fallen historic buildings. This Day in Sioux Falls History has been brought to you by the Sioux Falls Fun Page, West Sioux Studios, and Sunny 93.3.
Do you cringe when you get your mobile phone bill? Mint Mobile can help. Just $15 a month for premium wireless. Give your family a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone to Mint Mobile. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That is far less than most people are paying. Just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
Hey, this episode of the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour is done. Now, there are times during the bonus hour I'll mention something from our regular program, the John and Heidi Show, which is syndicated on like 300 stations around the country. There's actually a podcast for that as well. So if I mention something that you're going, hey, whatever happened? He didn't talk to that person, or this didn't happen, that didn't happen. You can find that podcast at JohnAndHeidiShow.com. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show Bonus Hour.